row. There we go. Awesome. Cool. So now that is showing. So we can see what we're programming live, which is pretty great. Make sure things are still doing okay. How's everybody doing? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Awesome. All right, so let's get started. So today, let me fire up what we got. It's the wrong code. Let's fire up this guy here. Pad Pro. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Cool. Milak ABG. Milakab G. Milakab BG. How you doing? Good to see everybody. Let's fire this guy up. My favorite viewer, live coding support, just joined the room. How you doing? All right, so this is a very simple sketch app. Kind of a sketch drawing app. There's our marker. We got a couple different tools. We got a pen. We got a highlighter. We got stuff, right? And then you can pinch out and you can see all your documents. And then what we're working on is this really ugly bar. I'm a girl, need to be the favorite. Well, hello. I probably called you hey man, so sorry about that. Hey girl, how you doing? sorry about that with my accidental sexism there. But thanks for following. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Good to have you on the stream. We are working on this ugly business right at the top here. So we have, for some reason it's showing seven different stacks that we can switch between. So if I hit one of those buttons, it moves us into different things, a bunch of blank ones. And then this guy, which has a few extra pages in it. But yeah, we can just move back and forth. And so the goal today is movie recording. Movie recording? I don't understand that either. I'm not recording the stream, but I am streaming it. YouTube's recording it, if that counts. So what I want to do today is look at this top row here. Right now I think it's just a view. We're going to want to make that a scroll view and have it a little bit prettier than just some circular buttons up here, because this whole thing looks like a mess right now. It just looks accidental and terrible. So we want to make that look a little bit nicer. I want to research this guy. This guy was a potential problem. It says movie recording is the title of the app. Oh, does it? In live coding it does? Oh yeah, movie recording here. Yeah, that's just because I'm using QuickTime to show the screen, to mirror the screen to the app. You can do that with, you create a new movie recording, and then here you can choose what camera you want to use. So that's all that means. Yeah. So this is apparently, I logged this a while ago. I was showing the wrong thumbnail somehow. So when I zoom into a page, I can draw on it, and then when I zoom out, it should keep that same thumbnail. And it was having problems if let's open up this picture, and then maybe add a circle to it. And when I pinched out, it was showing the wrong thumbnail, but it seems to be showing the correct thumbnail now. I mean, let's fill it in so we can tell for sure. But yeah, when you pinch out, you see it keeps that thumbnail. So I guess it's okay. I'm going to say we completed that because it looks like we completed that. Yeah, I think we're doing okay there. Let's look at this next one: ability to add a stack of pages to pinch out. So I basically just need to be able to add a little plus button there. A little plus button there to add a new one. And I already have 7, which is going to be good because soon on our list is to delete. an entire document, so we can do that. But first, let's put a little add button right there and see how that does. Right? So to do that, we're going to go to our main controller. It's good. I like to live stream sometimes when I program. I especially like to live stream when I don't particularly feel like programming, because when I don't feel like programming and I sit down to work, I usually end up checking Twitter, checking my email. Things just aren't important at all, and it's good to force myself to kind of stay in the zone and not get distracted. You know. Add the add button on the bottom of the page. Yeah, that's true. I have an add button here to add a single page, but I want to add an entire new stack, right? So that's the difference of what we're doing today. And we have the presentation window. That's not what we want. It's in here. Let's go to the top and to our init stack view. We have mix panel, delete sidebar, list of stack views. This guy, stack controller view. Does nothing. Oh, yeah. It's just a regular scroll view right now. That's fine. That's fine. Currently using some Udemy course on iOS apps. Yeah, Udemy can be great, and yeah, watching live streams is really great to learn new stuff. There's just a ridiculous amount of free content out there that you can get to learn how to program. Those are two great ways. I'm sure there's a lot of even tutorials on YouTube for specific features and specific ideas that you can find. Okay, cool. So here we are. Here's where we're adding all of our buttons. And so basically what we want to do here is add another button, which I believe I creatively called the plus button. I did. We'll call this the add stack button. And then we'll keep that frame. There we go. And then there we go. So he's going to add it after all the other buttons. And now we need a target. Currently using Udemy course. Yeah. Yep. Is chat showing up as well on the screen? In theory, chat should be showing up. Let me know if it's not for some reason. If it's not showing up on screen. Add. Oh yeah, there we go. Self. Add stack. Control event touch up inside. There we go. Feels good. Oh, then we want switch to stack button. Yeah, that guy goes there. I think we're happy with that, and now I need to write the add stack method, which we're going to creatively put right there. Awesome. My code foo is off today. It's off. That's all right. We're getting it done. Getting it done. All right, so we want the stack manager. Create stack. Switch to stack. Now, actually what we're going to do is we're going to stack ID, right? And then this guy is actually going to go up here. I'm going to refactor this a little bit. There we go. That feels okay, right? Here we go. Now let's go update this button right here. So he uses the action. Yep. And then oh yeah, switch to stack action. He needs to be updated as well. And then this guy can be self stack ID, right? Oops. So now we should have a plus button at the top of our screen. So I expect we'll have a plus button right here, and tapping it should bring us to a brand new empty stack. That's what I want to happen. Right? There we go. There's a plus button. Hey, awesome. It did. It flashes white for a minute. We should probably fix that. I don't know if that shows up on screen. Does that show up on screen? Yeah, it does. Yeah, so we should fix that, but we also want to fix, so every time I add a stack, it's not updating the buttons, so I need to update the buttons and update the scroll view, because right now it cannot scroll, so we want to set the content size, so that's important. So let's do that. Let's call this self reload stack buttons, is what we'll call that. And we'll take this code here, put it here, and then we also want to remove subviews, make objects, remove from superview. There we go. So that's going to clear out all the old buttons. This is going to recreate the buttons. This is going to create the add button. And then we need the content size. Set content. Right? Size, make. And then our height, we can just have a height of 1. That's fine. Height is actually not that important. We just want to make sure it will scroll sideways, right? And then after we add a stack, we of course want to reload those buttons. So now we should be able to hit that add button and show it creating it updating the list. Right? Let's make sure that happens. Here we go. We have our content size is a little bit off, bounces a little bit. Oops. We will solve that. we go. Hit a new button. Yep, turns into 13, turns into 14. Awesome. I like it. Easy. Awesome. Cool. Now the next thing I would like to do is fix that embarrassing white flash, right? That's really terrible. So when we're here and when we hit the add button, that time you couldn't see it. That time you couldn't see it. That time you could. That time you could. So sometimes you can. A couple of those it didn't show up though, which is interesting. Either way, doesn't matter because it does happen majority of the time, so we're going to fix it. Let's fix it. All right, so when we create a new stack, we switch to the stack. When we switch, we should be immediately transitioned to list view. So what I'm wondering, when it gets, so it's added to the view there. Surely that's not the case, but we're going to do that. I don't think that's going to matter. If it does, that would be surprising to me because it inserts the subview and transitions in the same run of the thread. So the fact that it flashes makes me think something is being done asynchronously. But offhand, I don't know what that is. So we're just going to add it to the view hierarchy after we've transitioned instead of right before it's transitioned, in case this guy is running a layout and causing a snapshot of that view. That feels like it's probably not the issue though. So what courses have you been looking at on Udemy? Anything exciting? Anything particularly fun or interesting? Yeah, so it's still flashing, which is fine. So if we go here inside of immediately transition peak view, this guy should be instant. It should not be anything animated. Nothing should be asynchronous. Yeah, so that's not it. This guy doesn't do anything asynchronously either. So I think he's okay. This guy is not doing anything asynchronous, just doing some gestures. Same thing here. So this is where typically the animation happens, but we're not animating. So we were just running things immediately, right? So we're not doing anything sneaky. There's no dispatch that I missed. At the top layer, update icon animations. Is this animating, possibly? That is. So I would be surprised if that was the issue. This doesn't look like it's indented correctly either. Is it really? Yeah, that's one level too deep. What's not indented correctly here? Oh, it's because of, I see. All right, fair enough. It's ugly, but I'll leave it. Okay, so what if we don't update the icon animation so that way we're not running any animation? What if we do that, right? Trump, wow. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, Mr. Trump. All right, so now we're here. Let's, yeah, still flashes. But that's not it. All right, step one. Just move. Oh, yeah, so we are animating some stuff that I forgot to turn off. Interesting. Okay, so that's good to know. I missed that somehow. Yep, so that's just some, yep, that's fine. Animating to list view, yep, that's some alpha changes. Finish transition to list view. That's not running any animations. Okay, so what if, I'm just going to turn that off for now. See if it gets rid of that white flash. Let's see what happens there. Yeah. All right, cool. Oops, talk went away. All right, so now we add a new stack. Still flashes. Still flashes. All right, what if we, these guys we move immediately. Find hidden pages we move immediately. Animate the shadows. Make sure all pages go to the correct place so it looks like they're in the list view. Yep. All right, so this takes all of the visible pages in the stack. So in this, when we're looking at pages, there's this list of pages, and this list has things that are hidden as well, like off to the right. And so, like from this page, that is page A, right? To the left and up of page A is the visible stack, because that shows up here on this main page. So here's page B, right? There's page B behind it. But page C over here is actually off to the right, right? So it lives off to the right. So what we're doing here is we're looping through A and B and everything up to the top left. You will publish this app on the store. Yes, in fact, it's already published on the store, so you can download it for free. And I'm adding features to it right now. So yeah, you can go get it for free right now. It's for iPad only though. There's no phone version yet. But yeah, you can search for Loose Leaf on the App Store and download it. Yeah. So here, so this guy loops through only that top left version. Pages that need animating. Yep. So that means if he's pages that will be visible after transition to list view. Let's make sure that's not empty. That might be empty. That would be bad. If we break point there, pages, yeah, he's empty. Okay, so that's part of the problem, I think. So if we go here, oh, yeah, of course. There are no pages. Yes, they're not looping through anything. So it's not the page animation that is more than obvious. So why would it flash white? Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you for checking it out. If you decide to go, download it. So it's still flashing white, and so I thought initially that white. Oops, I hit a breakpoint again. Dink. So I thought that white that was flashing was the page itself, but it's not. It's possibly the background of this. No, the background is transparent, right? What background would that be? Oh, this is a great opportunity to use this tool, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So there's my app in all of its glory. Let's collapse some of this stuff. So I just found this recently. They showed this off at WWDC, I don't know, a long time ago. I thought that was Zoom. It's apparently not Zoom. I don't know what that is. Doesn't do anything. That's Zoom. Look at us. Okay, so we have our primary view. This is probably this is the root view controller, right? So he is this guy right here, this loose leaf view controller. Then here's our background. So this is that kind of blurry black background. This tutorial stack view, this guy right here is what I assume is flashing white, because he's the guy that's getting created and added to the business. But I'm not sure why he would be white. Yeah. Yeah. So if we let's look at tutorial stack view real quickly. Probably be in here. Actually, we can do background. It's clear right away. Oh, what is it to set iOS set animation speed? This is a thing, how to speed up your animations. Yeah. No, there's like a, it's at the top level. You can just set it. Yeah, this guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, great. So that guy, we're going to make the animations, yeah, 10 times slower, 20 times slower than they usually are. Let's do that. And maybe that'll keep that flash on screen slightly longer, I hope. So we can see a little bit more of what's going on. That will be my goal. Yeah, let's try that. So here we go. Oh. So what else is it when I switch to stack? I'm just going to make sure that it is in fact that view. We're just going to start at the very basics, because there's no full page. Yeah, there's nothing that's white. That's full screen white, so it doesn't make. Okay, so it's obviously that view because it's not happening there, right? I feel good about that. So now we're going to do this business, which is subviews, make objects. Right? We're going to purposely break everything. So we're going to go one layer deep and remove everything that's one layer deep. And then once that works without flashing that white screen, then we're going to go 2 layers deep, and then we'll go 3 layers deep, and so on, right? Until we find which layer it is that's flashing white. And then we'll find which of those subviews it is that's flashing white. So now, it's not the fact that it's just a full screen page, so that's good, right? Okay, so let's go one layer deep, one layer deeper. Mark Melville and Orvar, thanks for hanging out. Welcome to the stream. We're working on Loose Leaf, which is a sketch app of sorts. It has, that's interesting, putting that button in the wrong place. Oh, that's why. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so do we get a flash? We do. So it's just in that very first layer, right? So that's good news. There's a bunch of those, and we'll do if IDX is less than 1. Yeah, if it's greater than 1, right? So we'll leave that very first subview, and we'll take out everything else, and then we'll slowly add in each thing. Right? Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. So that way we can see which subview it is, and we'll track down. We'll go one step at a time. Very, very basic. So I want to find the answer no matter what. Yep, so it is that very, very first subview. That's good. So if we do oops, yeah, we'll do that. How many subviews does that first one have on a brand new stack? So I found out today, Google Speech API, they just opened up a Cloud Speech API, which I'm super super excited about. I want to nerd out with that so badly. So maybe we'll play with that in a future stream, because that would be a lot of fun. I think that would be super, super fun to play with. All right. We create a new one. We have zero subviews. And that subview is just a UI view. As a background of white. Well, that would do it. Makes me feel uncomfortable that that's true. All right, so you insert sub. Nope. Add sub. Visible stack holder. Where do I set that guy's background color? Nowhere. So how does he have a white background color? That is the view, right? So let's make sure that I'm not. I'm not going too crazy. It might be this guy. No, it wouldn't. Well, no, it wouldn't be. It's going to make me really nervous if that actually has a background color set to white, because that doesn't make any sense at all, because the background is clear. It's definitely clear. And we know it's clear because you can see that faded image background behind it. So if we go down here, we hit plus. Yep. So that means this guy is not. So he's nil that time, even though he wasn't nil like 30 seconds ago. Tell me if that makes sense. Clear that background color. Is also nil there. So that's clear, as it should be. Backdrop. That guy's clear. Makes sense. So what if we just do this? Will make me a little surprised if that's the answer, but I don't know why else. I don't know why else it would be showing, maybe rendering fully white for just a half second. Like that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay. The other thing we could look at is if for some reason it's being set to opaque, or if it thinks it's opaque at the beginning. Be interesting. So do we still see it? Obj.layer.background color should be a clear color now. Which it is, which is nice. Obj.opaque. Is that not a thing? Yeah. Defaults to yes, so that might be part of the issue. Possibly. Why else would just adding an empty UI view flash the screen white? It's so bizarre to me. So it says it is opaque. So that could be the issue. So we have our stack view as a scroll view. Scroll view should be clear. Right? So that could be why. That makes a little more sense, that it would render that first frame as opaque until it figured out that the background was clear on the next frame. I don't know why it wouldn't happen on that first frame though. Yeah, it didn't even do that there. So something is still fully opaque though. Self init, you're not opaque. Thank you very much. There we go. All right, let's try that again, because we still had somebody playing opaque right there, which is bad. All right, let's try again. So there's still one person who's opaque. This guy. Let's see what he is. All right, so he is oh, yeah. Let's step. Oh, and we can't even. It's annoying. Can I do that? Can I do that? Okay. I did not expect us to get pulled down on this rabbit trail of tracking down a random one frame animation problem, but it'll be good to get it fixed. Be good to get it fixed. One of those things I'm not going to ship with it, so we may as well fix it now, right? All right, so now foo, so it's a full page thing. Just a regular UI view. Maybe it's the one. Is the second, should be this guy, right? It would be that guy. It's our index. Index is 0. So it's that guy. Maybe it's that guy? No, that's for the page. All right, let's do this to help us look at something. All right. There's just a bunch of icons after that. Yep. Nothing there. uh, I'm embarrassed that I ever wrote that code. All right, let's do yeah, look at us. We are loading all the business. So this needs to not be that. It needs to be a UI pivot to no. Look, we have. We're not gonna do any of this. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're going to take that out altogether. And then we're going to revert changes here. What were our changes here? Yeah, we can revert that guy. What about here? Yeah, definitely get rid of that. Oh, yeah. Yep. My goodness. Maybe it was the fully white subview that I was adding for a fraction of a second that was causing the fully white screen to be there for a fraction of a second. That's one of those things. Let's go back and look at that, because that code that I just took out, I'm curious. I want to know. How old do we think it is? It says 2004, June 2014. It might be that old. It might be older than that. This guy might be older than that. That is fantastic. There you go. 2-year-old code comes back to bite you in the back. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. There's a lesson there. There's a lesson there somewhere. Yep, look at us. No more flash. It's instant, which is great. There we go, easy. So now we want 3 blank pages there. So that should be a lot easier. So that is in Stack Manager. I thought. Stacks Manager, sorry. Keyed. So we do create a directory, UID, we add it to the plist, and we return it. So it's completely blank with no visible pages at all, which is fine. So then in the Stack Manager, when we load from disk, now I want to make sure, because there's some default, I want to show you the default pages of the app. These are good. I'm not super thrilled with them, to be perfectly honest, but they're okay. So like here they are, right? So here's one, shows you how to use the ruler. Here's one that shows you it's broken for the iPad Pro size. The scraps are in the wrong place, but it shows you, there you go, how to pull a scrap into 2 pieces, right? So you grab the scrap in 2 pieces and you pull and it duplicates. And so that's what that page is showing. Different pages show different things, right? This guy shows you can pinch into list view. This guy shows you can how to add a page, whatever, right? So they're little tutorial pages, tutorial content. I want to make sure that the very first time the user loads the app, they see all those pages, but then every time they load a new stack after that, they just get blank pages, right? Blackburn, welcome, man. Good to see you, or person. I got gender wrong earlier for just saying man, even though I mean it in the generic sense. But welcome to the room, no matter what you are or who you are. So I want to make sure that I do that correctly. So what we're going to do is let's make sure we create the correct things. Visible pages. So visible pages to create might be nil, right? So that would be nil. Makes sense. Load from disk with bounds, yeah. Pages to create. So I think Yeah, let's check and see what happens with a fresh install, right? So I'm just going to we're just going to delete it off disk, which is fine. Now when we load it up, let's see what happens. Well, that's discouraging. It's pretty much our worst case scenario right there. Nothing is visible. And nothing is visible. Awesome. All right. So if it has state to load, great. It's fine. Stacks manager. Initializes, check for upgrade. It's fine. And then here, when we switch to stack, load stacks from disk. Let's go here and relaunch and see what happens, right? We never get here. Well, that would be one problem. And that's because this guy is 0, right? So if it's our first one, then create one. So now we should start with, I think, 100% blank business. That would make sense to me. If it was completely blank when it started up, but it at least loaded something. No, it didn't. Stack IDs. All right, starting to feel a little bit nervous. What could be the issue? What could be the issue? There we go. So we have no stack IDs. We create one here. Oh, so that guy. Right, should probably be an array. Yep. So that would be ns mutable array. And I'm pretty sure that unarchiving an object works. Like we'll unarchive a mutable thing. If you archive a mutable array, then it will unarchive as a mutable array. But I don't want to. I mean, it clearly has been working in the past, but so let's do that. Okay, so that's good news. So I think that's all it was. So now it should start up with the business. Yep. It has list of stack views. still starts up blank. I probably should have done that. Because it had the object, but it did not have anything in it. So are any of you guys working tonight? Are you just watching streams? Are you programming while you watch streams? There we go. So that time, that was interesting. That time it actually showed a tutorial. There we go. Let's close that tutorial. Here's our default content. Nice. Create a new stack. It gives our tutorial content again. Why does it think when I hit the button that we haven't completed the tutorial yet? Tutorial stack view. Here instance. That's probably why. Right? That would do it. Yeah. So now let's redelete from our iPad. And now we have, we're going to fire it up. So we should see, in theory, we should see it start up, show the tutorial. We finish the tutorial. It shows us the first tutorial page. We pinch to list view. It shows us we have one stack in the bar, and then we can add a new stack. Right? Thanks. Pinch. We have one stack. We hit new. We get a new blank stack. That's awesome. Awesome. Cool. So now we're at where we should be. Awesome. So now we can actually check that guy off of the list. There we go. We can also support an arbitrary number of stacks because we can scroll, right? Because as we get off, we can add more and more. So we can add as many as we want, which is pretty great. And we can, now we need to delete stacks. Not super nervous about that guy. So let's do that guy real quickly. I think that would be nice. Wonder how long I've been streaming. What functions will my app have? It's a good question. So one thing that I'm working on right now is multiple documents. Right? So these are our list of documents. We're going to make this UI better. This is the part we're working on right now. The part that's done is, or I mean effectively done, it's live in the App Store right now, is this guy. And so it has pencil, or like a very fine tip pen, has a marker, just a little bit thicker, and it has a highlighter you can use. Right? You can drop in a photograph, or you can drop in something on the page. And when you draw on it, it actually draws on the image, so you can annotate the image and move it around. You can even move it off to different pages, so you can move things between pages pretty easily. And you can use the scissors to actually cut out an arbitrary shape of an image. And so then you have your little spaceman, right? And a picture of the sun and the moon, with a man in the moon, something. Anyway, so you can do whatever you want. The goal was to make it really, really easy to just get your ideas down on paper really, really quickly. So you could just make a diagram real quick. Right? And then the ruler, you can pinch out and you can draw a straight line really easy, or you can pinch and curve to make a curved line really easily, right? So it's just a whiteboard. It's really a whiteboard at this point, and then you can export each page, you know, to like your camera roll or something. You can export each page individually. And so what I'm doing now is I'm making it more document centric, and so you can also kind of create actually notes, and you can write stuff down. It'll have pencil support, and then you'll be able to output all of the pages at once as a single PDF. So it'll be, instead of just a whiteboard app and just kind of a loose sketch app, it'll be a sketch plus note-taking app, and you'll be able to do a lot of the things that other note-taking apps can do. So that's the goal. But to do that, we're working on this part right here, which is the multiple documents aspect of it right now, and we're doing it in an ugly way. But we are making it work, and we'll make it progressively less ugly as time goes on. And so our next thing is to make this delete button. And so what I would like to do is I would like to do a delete button underneath every single one of these. So this will be delete stack button, delete stack action, right? It'll be the letter X for delete, creatively enough. Y offset, it probably needs to be moved up a little bit because it's a lowercase letter. But let's just see how that looks. It's going to crash when we actually hit the button, but that's okay. We just wanted to, oops, yeah, it's going to be right on top. So we want X, Y, 80, 90. Let's do that. So it has a little space between them. Yeah. There we go. So I did not need to move it up. Great. So now delete stack. We will, that's what I'm thinking of down here. That's where we want to put it. That's where we want to put it. That's where we want to put this too. That guy's in the wrong place. There we go. And so now we need to figure out which button it is, right? This will be delete stack. There we go. Feel good about that. And then our stacks manager needs a method there. Oops, no, not in a string. What am I doing? Here we go. So now that should compile, right? I think that'll compile. And so then here, we want stack IDs, remove object, that guy, and then we want, what else? save it to disk, and that's probably all we care about. And then we also want if we're currently showing the one we just deleted, then that's a problem. That means we need to check if shared stack count, if we have any else to transition to. Should probably transition to its neighbor, right? That would make sense. So now we know its index. If is greater than or equal to count, then idx minus equals 1, right? And so now if then we want self create add stack. Otherwise, self switch to stack with that ID. Right? So that means if I delete stack 0, then I'll switch to stack 1. And if I delete stack n, then I'll switch to stack n plus 1 when I delete it. And I will also insert subview. So I also need to remove it from this view cache, right? So that view cache will be right, so that way I remove it from the view. There we go. I think we did it. I think that's delete. But we also need to, that's still going to leave the files on disk. So that's delete from the UI perspective, but not from the model perspective, because it will, so each stack of pages is going to have a bunch of files detailing out where I've drawn and what the cache images are and what the exports are and all that kind of thing. And so we'll need to clean those up as well. But this should at least work. So if I switch to 1, right, so this is a big 1, stack 1. And if I delete 1, I move to presumably 2. So this is 1, this is 2, right? So you can see the 2 there. Let's put the 2 here. 2. And 1, right? So if I delete 1, I should see 2, which I do. So if I delete over and over and over and over again, oh, I need to rebuild the buttons. That's the other thing I need to do. There we go. That would be important. David Chua, welcome to the stream. All right, so now we delete that. Yeah, then we just get a completely blank thing. Oh, sorry, I don't have it on screen. So I can add a bunch, and then when I hit delete, it deletes each one. Right? That's pretty good. So this is stack 0. This is stack 1. And this is stack 2. So if I delete stack 1, oops, let's switch to stack 0. If I delete stack 0, I should see stack 1. I do. If I delete that, I should see 2. Yep. And then I should be blank. Yeah. So that's working. So that's great. So that's half of the battle. So now I need to delete them off the disk, and that's going to be this guy's job. So it's possible that that there's going to be background jobs running on a stack, so that it might run and delete. It might be running to like do a render or do saving something out to disk, saving something out to cache, something like that. So right after we delete, we're going to, oops, yeah, dispatch after, say, 3 seconds should be plenty in this file. Default manager, remove item at path. This is, it's recursive, right? Yeah, contents are removed recursively, which is great. Amazing. Okay, so that means we want to figure out the plist path, which is stack directory path. Let's call it stack directory path for UID, right? And that way we can use this from anywhere. Oh, it's still angry here. That's fine. All right. So now it'll recursively move that directory at that path. I think that's good. That should not have compiled. Self. There we go. Making progress. Cool. Now we should compile. Yep. And so now, actually, let's not run quite yet because we want a blank, fresh business. We're going to launch. That'll generate one directory. We'll generate a couple others as well. We'll download the container for the app. There we go. No thanks. Great. So there's stack 0. Here's stack 1. All right, so there's stack 1. Use the marker. Here's stack 2. 2. Stack 3. Right, so now we can go between 2 and 3 and 1. That bothers me for some reason. And stack 0. Great. So now what I want to do is go to here, download container. We should see 4 stacks. We do. We see 4, right? So that's good. That's what we want to see. So that's the before picture. And so now if we pull it up and we delete 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we export, we should see probably 1 of the newest one, right? This will be 4, right? So there's 4. Oops, sorry, I didn't show you that. There's 4. Right, so there's stack 4. So now we should, I hit the wrong button. When we export this guy, we should see only 1 stack. And it should be, yep, and it should be that one that we just did, which it is, page 4. Yeah, so we did it. So it's deleting files correctly. A little naively, but I'm comfortable with it for now. Cool. So now we have that guy done. So we've done 1, 2, 3. We did 3 check marks today because that guy was done when we got here. Because we verified he's not an issue anymore. So we did 3 check marks today, which leaves moving pages between stacks, which will be good. This guy will be nice to have, but we'll need, that's really a different issue. And then we need to clean up the look and feel of it so it actually looks even moderately a little bit nice. But that we're going to do another day because I'm tired. It's 1 a.m. where I am. So I'm going to call it there. But thanks guys for hanging out and for having some fun with me. We got stuff done, which I'm excited about. And I hope you guys have a good one. But I will leave it there. If you enjoyed it, feel free to follow. I think you'll get an email every time I stream if we do that. I stream pseudo regularly, pretty randomly. So I streamed today. Last time I streamed was maybe 2 weeks ago, but I streamed 4 or 5 days in a row when I did that. So anyway, it's hit or miss, but if you want to hang out, follow. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.